China was supposed to dominate the global economy. It had the scale, the speed, the world on its payroll. But now, Trump's Liberation Days is just days away, and the empire China built on trade is about to take a direct hit. This is it, the final episode in our 5-part series on Trump's tariff war. From Mexico to Japan, Germany to South Korea, you've seen how America is rewriting the rules of trade. And now, we confront the one country this strategy was built around, China. If you've been following the series, you know this isn't about a few factories or tax rates. It's about deconstructing global dependency. So hit like, drop your prediction in the comments, and subscribe, because April 2nd isn't the end, it's just the start of something much bigger. For 30 years, the U.S.-China relationship has defined the global economy. The deal was simple. China manufactures, America consumes, Beijing gets jobs and growth, Washington gets cheap goods and happy voters. The world runs on that flow. But there's a cost. Whole industries have disappeared. Supply chains, they're stretched across oceans. America's strategic leverage has been eroded one factory at a time. Trump never accepted that trade-off, and now with Liberation Day just days away, he's finishing what he started. On April 2nd, the U.S. begins imposing broad, permanent tariffs. Not as a tactic, but as a structural correction. The headline is the 25% tariff on all foreign-made cars and parts. That alone hits China's emerging auto industry hard, especially EVs, where China is trying to dominate. That's just one front. What really matters are the reciprocal tariffs. The reciprocal tariffs across industries, across categories, across alliances. If China taxes U.S. beef, the U.S. hits back with equal force on pork or batteries. If Chinese solar panels flood the market, they'll now face a tariff wall. It's not tit for tat, it's tit for structure. The message is, we're not playing by global trade rules anymore, we're rewriting our own. And this isn't just economic friction, it's a pressure test for the Chinese system. Beijing is already under strain. Youth unemployment is at record highs. The real estate sector, once a growth engine, is now a sinkhole. Deflation is creeping into core sectors, and foreign capital, it's already left. One of the last things keeping the engine running is exports, and it's about to seize up. Trump's tariffs strike at the core of China's export machinery, and the timing is brutal. Beijing can't afford to retaliate aggressively. It can't cut off the U.S. market, it needs it. China's middle class, it isn't ready to replace the American demand. And the Belt and Road markets, most are broke, unstable, or collapsing under the debt that they got from the Belt and Road program. That's why this isn't just about trade, it's about forcing China into a corner. The kind of corner where it can no longer project power, fund expansion, or keep its domestic population happy. Every industry that China used to dominate, steel, solar, electric vehicles, consumer tech, is now vulnerable. Not just because of tariffs, but because global buyers are looking for alternatives, and America is giving them one. Everything you've seen in this series points to this. The tariffs on Mexico weren't about border drama. They were about pulling manufacturing out of Asia and into the Western Hemisphere. The tariffs on Japan weren't about cars. They were about choosing sides in the coming economic Cold War. Germany, Trump made it clear. If you won't stop acting as China's backdoor into the West, you're next. In South Korea, America gave it a choice: trade alignment with Washington, or risk being swept up in the crackdown on Chinese intermediaries. None of this is random, it's choreography. Trump's trade policy isn't a series of isolated moves. It's a deliberate effort to tear down the old system and replace it with a new one where China is no longer at the center. So what happens next? Factories won't move overnight, but decisions will. CEOs are already reevaluating their Chinese exposure. Retailers are rewriting sourcing strategies. Logistic firms are shifting their maps, and Trump's administration is ready for that. Incentives for nearshoring, expanded tax breaks for U.S.-based production, tougher enforcement of origin rules to keep Chinese goods from sneaking in through partner nations. Liberation Day will start with tariffs, but it will end with a supply chain revolution. This is America's industrial pivot, not just away from China, but toward a more secure, regionalized, and resilient system, one where the U.S. sets the terms and others adjust or get left out. And that's the part no one in Beijing, Berlin, or Seoul wants to say out loud. The world's most valuable market is closing its door to globalism and reopening them to strategic loyalty. China bet on America staying asleep, but now the U.S. is rearming. Economically, Liberation Day is coming, and for China, this is just the beginning of a long retreat. This concludes our 5-part series on Trump's tariffs, but the next chapter, America's economic reawakening, is already underway. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more hard-hitting geopolitical analysis. This is Frank with America's Geopolitics. See you next time.